Serene, calm, peaceful. That is the field before the lines and bases are put down. The grounds crew performs the same ritual for every game on every field, laying chalk lines, putting down bases, mowing the outfield. It's as timeless as the game itself, and it's all in anticipation of two words: play ball.
Well, so far, folks, Mother Nature wins today. We are back with you early and with a different game than what I announced would be the game here at Field 3 at 7 o'clock. This game, because of the weather that's looming out to our west, will feature the home team, Moncks Corner, versus the away team, St. George. This is a Dixie boys tournament game, not Dixie junior boys. So we get some Dixie boys action here at Field 3. And we are set to start, as you see, Moncks Corner's pitcher, Gavin Driggers, completing his warm-up tosses on the mound. The St. George All-Stars will line up this way. Hunter Hartzog will lead off and play second. Trevor Hilton, the catcher, bats second. Tyler Wright in center field hits third. Jake Herndon, the third baseman, hits cleanup. Landon Messick in left field hits fifth. Hayden Hartzog, the shortstop, hits sixth. Harrison Wimberly at first base hits seventh. Manning Thompson, the DH, will bat eighth. And Connor Carrollton in right field rounds out the batting order, and he will bat ninth for the St. George All-Stars. And we're all trying to catch our breath since this was all done in about the last 10 minutes, and this is all because of the weather that's off to the west. They're trying to buy an extra 30 or 45 minutes, which may make all the difference in being able to get this game in or not. So Gavin Driggers is on the mound for Moncks Corner. Defensively for Moncks Corner, in the outfield, A.J. Leggett in left, Miller McGuire in center, and Hagan Gregory over in right. On the infield for Moncks Corner, J.P. Proctor at third, Dylan Lambert at short, Ben Cohen over at second, and Ryan Pierce at first. The catcher for Moncks Corner is Mason Salisbury, and he catches Gavin Driggers. So we all kind of exhale. The umpires are making their way to home plate and to the field, and we're about set to go in what is now a Dixie Boys Championship tournament game between St. George and Moncks Corner. The game between Buford and St. George on the Dixie Junior Boys side will be played at Field 2. And I think Matt Watts is going to be bringing that game to you. But here it's strike one to Hunter Hartzog leading off the top of the first inning. Driggers into the wind and a pitch on the way. Fouled out of play. And the count 0-2. To look at the sky right now, and that camera angle shows it, it's a bright blue sunny sky. It's beautiful. But just a little ways off to the west, some intense weather And that weather's making its way slowly toward Bluffton as that's in there for call strike 3. That's a great start for Gavin Driggers, and that's one out here in the top of the first. There's a shot of the beautiful sky right now. You'd have no idea if you looked at that what might be heading our way here shortly. So the 7 o'clock junior boys game becomes a 6:20 Dixie boys game, and there's strike 1 to Trevor Hilton, the catcher for St. George. Pitch on the way is outside. And the count 1 ball and 1 strike to Hilton. Pitch on the way. Right through there. Good pitch. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count. Pitch on the way is cut on and missed, and it's back-to-back strikeouts for Gavin Driggers. 2 up, 2 down for St. George here in the top of the first. And that'll bring up Tyler Wright, the center fielder. And that pitch hits Tyler Wright right on the numbers, and he'll take first. So runner at first with 2 outs for St. George, no score, just underway in the top of the first. Runner leads off first. No score, just underway in the top of the first. In this Dixie boys game between St. George and Moncks Corner. Runner goes from first, a throw down to second to the third base side, and they're safely with a stolen base. Is Tyler Wright. Jake Herndon, the batter, and he swings and misses. 1 ball, 1 strike, the count to Herndon. Runner down at second, 2 outs, top of the first, just underway, no score. In this winner's bracket game, runner breaks for third, going to be a close play, and he's called safe. The throw beat him, but the runner ruled safe over at third. So St. George with the first run of the game, 80 feet away. First batter struck out. Second batter struck out. Third batter walked. And this is the 4th batter up to bat now.
And I have it counts 2 and 1. I don't know how many pitches that is.
Yeah, nobody, that's the thing. I mean,
that's the big thing.
Most important thing we don't have.
You know what?
Had to guess.
Let's radio down to Moncks Corner. I bet they're counting pitches down there in the dugout. If I had to guess, I'd say this is probably.
Starting, and I turn around and look, and they're already.
This is probably like pitch 12 about to, if I had to guess.
Actually, I guessed that I had 12 written down.
Yeah. Pitch on the way to the plates. Hit out towards short, fielded by the shortstop, who throws across to first in time. And that puts a lid on the top of the first. Nothing doing for St. George. That brings up Moncks Corner in the bottom of the first. No score in this Dixie boys tournament game right here live on the County Channel. We'll be right back for the bottom of the first. Moncks Corner comes to bat here in the bottom of the first. No score from the Leo Vanoni Memorial Field. Field 3 at Oscar Frazier Park in this Dixie Boys winners bracket game live on the Beaufort County Channel. J.P. Proctor, Dylan Lambert, and Miller McGuire will be the first three batters for Moncks Corner. Ivy Sweatman is on the mound for St. George. And it's a 1-ball, no strike count to J.P. Proctor. Fouled off, out of play. One ball, one strike count to J.P. Proctor. Sweatman into the wind, and the off-speed pitch stays outside. 2-1 the count. Pitch to the plate's fouled off the screen. Proctor thinks he should have got around better on that pitch as he kind of slams his elbow into his thigh. And the count, 2 balls, 2 strikes. Pitch on the way to the plate is on the inside corner for called strike 3. J.P. Proctor goes down on strikes. That's 1 out here in the bottom of the first. And Dylan Lambert will now be the batter.
Now batting, number 3, Dylan Lambert.
Dylan Lambert's favorite food is crab legs. His favorite movie is Bench Warmers, and he swings and misses. No balls and 1 strike. His favorite memory, and this is a good one, is going to the 2018 Dixie World Series in Louisiana. It's that to third, bobbled by the third baseman, but he recovers and throws on to first in time. That was a good play by Jake Herndon over at third base. He kept that ball in front of him. He didn't panic, and he threw a strike on to first. So it's 2 outs here in the bottom of the first. Bases are empty, and Miller McGuire now the batter. Big swing and a miss. No balls, 1 strike. Miller McGuire's favorite food is steak. His favorite team, the Astros. His favorite sports idol is Jose Altuve. Sweatman into the wind. The pitch is an off-speed pitch, and it's a good one. And it's swung on and missed for strike 2. No balls and 2 strikes to Miller McGuire. 0-2 pitch is hit toward third and foul. Count stays, no balls and 2 strikes. Sweatman again into the wind, and the pitch on the way. Outside, and the count's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Moncks Corner is coached by Butch Watson, Steve Pauly, Chad Salisbury, and Pete Myers. That is hit into left field. A solid single for Miller McGuire. That's the first base hit of this game for either team. And it puts a runner on at first with 2 outs and brings up Mason Salisbury. Mason Salisbury lists mac and cheese as his favorite food, the Braves as his favorite baseball team. His hobbies include curling. I'm not sure if that means weightlifting or if that means the Winter Olympic sport. When he grows up, he wants to be the general manager of a pro baseball team. And his favorite memory is an all-star Grand Slam homer to beat Somerville. And who could forget that? Runner at first, 2 outs, no score, as Moncks Corner bats in the bottom of the first. One 0 pitch on the way, floats outside. 2 balls and no strikes. The count to Mason Salisbury, the catcher for Moncks Corner. Runner goes from first. The throw down to second's going to be late, and it's a stolen base for Miller McGuire. So runner in scoring position for Moncks Corner with 2 outs, and it's a 3 ball and no strike count to Mason Salisbury. The 3-0 pitch is outside, and it's ball 4 and a runner at first. Runner's now first and second for Moncks Corner with 2 outs. A.J. Leggett will be the batter. Trade that pin for this pin. For me, please. It's laying right there. Yes. I don't want to lose that. That's it. Runners at first and second, and there are 2 outs in the bottom of the first. No score between St. George and Moncks Corner. This game was originally scheduled for 7 o'clock, and it was originally scheduled for Field 2. But because of the impending weather, they've moved it over here to Field 3, and they've sped the time of the start time of the game up to about 20 after 6. That is fouled off down the first base side, and the count's no balls and a strike. And once again, we just want to take a second while we have a second and thank all of our viewers at BeaufortCountySC.gov, also on the county channel. All of you who have taken the time to tune in to one or all of these games in the Dixie Junior Boys and the Dixie Boys this week. There's been some great baseball played, and it's our pleasure to bring you all the action live at BeaufortCountySC.gov and on the county channel. Runners lead off first and second. It's a 1-1 count, and the off-speed pitch is in there for a strike. Runner on second takes third. So runners now first and third for Moncks Corner. Miller McGuire, the runner at third. Mason Salisbury, the runner at first. And Leggett hits it out towards short, fielded on a hop by the shortstop. And the throw on to first is in time. And Moncks Corner kept off the scoreboard in the bottom of the first. We go to the top of the second. No score between St. George and Moncks Corner. You're watching Dixie Boys action right here live on the county channel. Landon Lessex leads off for St. George in the top of the second. No score in this Dixie Boys Division winners bracket game. Messick fouls it back to the screen. No balls, one strike to count. We had to kind of adjust on the fly to get ready to bring you this game, so sorry if the top of the and bottoms of the first were a little bit unorganized. Wonky donkey, somebody says from the truck. Exactly. It's one of my kids' favorite books. I'd never heard of that book. That is a swing and a miss, and it's strike three, and that's a one up, one down. Landon Messick, I promise you I speak English, goes down on strikes. The bases are empty, and Hayden Hartzog comes to bat. The shortstop for St. George. And he swings and misses, strike one. Pitch on the way, swung on and missed. Gavin Driggers is throwing hard, and he's throwing well so far. That pitch is hit foul past third. Yeah, the count stays 0-2. Once again, pitchers are allowed 95 pitches. 105? 105 in the Dixie Boys. Check that. It's 95 in the Junior Boys, 105 in the Dixie Boys. That pitch is hit off the fist, and it's going to fall in, and it's going to be a base hit, as nobody from Moncks corner made an effort on that. So it's a base hit is all you can score that because nobody touched it. And St. George has a runner on at first.
Now batting, number 12, Harrison Wimberly.
Harrison Wimberly will stand in for St. George. Hayden Hartzog now the runner at first.
She didn't have us do any lineup training. She said get the game rolling.
Yeah, Tanner, I'll just say welcome to the game. Home team, please go ahead and take the field when you're ready or whatever. We're not going to have any.
Wimberly stands in. Runner leads off first. It's ball one.
Me too, no infield, nothing.
Whenever you are ready to take the field, go ahead. We're not going to have any introduction.
Or infield.
One ball and no strike to count. Runner leads off first. 1-0 pitch on the way. Is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to count.
Your storm's coming.
Swing and a miss, and the count's 1-2. You wouldn't expect a Canadian to care about the weather in the United States, would you?
It's so rude.
You only care about if it's raining. You only care about if it's raining in Toronto. Throw down to second with the runner going. Close play, but ruled safe. And for Field 2, which will feature St. George and Beaufort County in the Dixie Junior Boys game, you will be treated to the dulcet tones of the one, the only Carlo Peruzza, who will be calling that game. And if you can get past his Canadian accent, he's a darn good announcer. Pitch is fouled out of play. And the count now 2-2. He's going to throw something at me here in just a minute. Runner at second, and there is 1 out. In the top of the second, there's no score. All the way to the screen and racing for third and making it. Is that Salisbury? I lost track. Who the heck is that? So it'll be a runner on third now for St. George. And it is a 3-ball and 1 strike count to Harrison Wimberly. There's a big swing and a miss, and Wimberly goes down swinging. So that's the second out. Runner remains at third.
Now batting, number 5, Manning.
And Manning Thompson now the batter. Gavin Driggers misses outside for ball one. That is smacked in the gap in left center field. That's going to get down and roll for a while. A run's going to score for St. George. Digging for second and making it standing up is Manning Thompson. So St. George breaks out on top. They lead 1-0 on the RBI double by Manning Thompson. Hayden Hartzog scores the first run of the game. Thompson now the runner at second. And there are 2 outs. Connor Carrollton the batter. And he swings and misses for strike one. So St. George breaks through. They lead 1-0. Gavin Driggers looks in, gets his sign from Mason Salisbury, and the pitch on the way is bunted foul up toward first. No balls and 2 strikes. Pitch on the way is outside. 1-2 the count. Over the batter's head all the way to the screen. And the runner will now be on third for St. George. That's a wild pitch from Gavin Driggers. And it's a 2-ball and 2-strike count to Connor Carrollton. Pitch on the way, just misses outside. The count's now full, 3-2. Or is that ball 4? Maybe we had the count wrong. So apparently that's ball 4. We had the count wrong up here in the press box. Our apologies for that. It's now runners first and second for St. George with 2 outs. And now what's going on? A meeting between the umpires. Maybe they had the count wrong and we had it right. Not sure what they're discussing, but we'll find out in just a second. There are 2 outs here in the top of the second. St. George has scored a run. They lead 1-0. And while the umpires are discussing whatever it is, he's calling the runner back on first back to the plate. I think the count is now 3-2. I think it was 2-2 and the count's now 3-2. So Connor Carrollton will come back to bat. Runner remains at third for St. George. And we had the count right up here in the press box. The umpire had it wrong on the field. So now the count's 3-2. Driggers into the wind, 3-2 pitch on the way. And that's in there for strike 3. So that changes the complexion of this inning. As St. George will have to settle for the 1 run. And they have the lead 1-0 as Moncks Corner comes to bat in the bottom of the second. You're watching the Dixie Boys State Tournament live right here on the County Channel. Moncks Corner comes to bat in the bottom of the second, now trailing St. George 1-0. Pitch on the way is fouled out of play. No balls and 1 strike. Hagan Gregory leading off for Moncks Corner. He'll be followed by Ryan Pierce and Gavin Driggers. And in the break, we got word that some of this weather may be just about to move in here. So that's a ground ball to second, and Gregory retired for the first out here in the bottom of the second. So weather could definitely become a player in this game and the other game scheduled for tonight as we move along. We'll see how it all turns out and works out. And there's a shot of some of the darker clouds beginning to move in. And you can kind of make off there as it gets into the center of your screen, maybe some of the rain also. That's what awaits us possibly, unless it moves around us and you never know. Ryan Pierce is now the batter for Moncks Corner. And he's down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes, and now no balls and 3 strikes as he goes down swinging. And that's 2 quick outs for Ivy Sweatman and St. George here in the bottom of the second. Another good shot. Beautiful. A gorgeous shot. Bases empty, 2 outs, 1-0 St. George. Gavin Driggers now the batter. Pitch on the way is in there for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch on the way. Sweatman works quickly outside, 2-1. 2-1 pitch on the way. Weak swing and a miss, and the count's even 2-2. 2-2 pitch on the way is on the inside corner for call strike 3. Some efficient pitching there for Ivy Sweatman. And that ends the bottom of the second. We go to the top of the third. The score remains St. George 1, Moncks Corner nothing. You're watching the Dixie Boys State Tournament live on the County Channel. We'll be right back. St. George leading Moncks Corner 1-0 as we go to the top of the third. Gavin Driggers still on the mound for Moncks Corner. Pitch is hit into center field. And Hunter Hartzog flies out to center to lead off the top of the third. That'll bring up Trevor Hilton. If you're just joining us on the Beaufort County Channel, this is Field 3, the Leo Vanoni Memorial Field. Originally, we were going to bring you the Dixie Junior Boys, as that's bunted back to the pitcher. The throw on to first. Good play by Moncks Corner. Good defense, and that's 2 quick outs in the top of the third. 2 pitches, 2 outs. Can't get any more efficient than that. Originally, we were going to have for you Dixie Junior boys, and it was going to feature the host team, Beaufort County, and St. George. Well, the weather, because the first game on Field 3 ended early, that as the pitch is hit high and deep into left center field, that ball is going to get way out of here. That is a mammoth home run by Tyler Wright. It's still rising. Clobbered to left center field, and at a 2-0 lead for St. George. It's 300 feet all the way around to the outfield, and that got into the trees on the rise, I think. Just clobbered for a 2-0 lead. That'll bring up Jake Herndon. That baseball was screaming as it went over the left center field fence. Just a mammoth home run. So we're playing this game, this Dixie boys game between St. George and Moncks Corner. We started it at 6:20 in anticipation of what we think is going to be some pretty rough weather moving in. So that's why it's not the game that we said was going to be on the county channel at 7, and it's a different game at 6:20, but it's all going to work out because you get to hear Carlo Peruzza announce Beaufort County over on Field 2. What could be better than that? As that pitch is smacked into left field, a solid single for Jake Herndon. Back in the first game on the county channel on Field 3 this afternoon, Sumter defeated Seneca 12-0, and that game ended in the 5th inning because of the 10-run rule. So that's what enabled this game between St. George and Moncks Corner to start early. And you should have been up here in the press box between those two games. All kinds of activity. And in the middle of all that, dinner was delivered. So you had hungry people. You had all kinds of activity. But it all worked out. We got a baseball game on Field 3. It's a good game. St. George leads 2-0. Jake Herndon is the runner at first. There's 2 outs. Tyler Wright hit a mammoth home run to left center field that might have just landed somewhere in Bluffton. One of the longer home runs I've ever seen hit. And it didn't even look to me, I need to see this when the game's archived, didn't look to me like he even swung all that hard at it. But it went a long way. And it's a 2-0 lead for St. George. The count's no balls and 2 strikes to Jake Herndon. Check it, it's Landon Messick. Jake Herndon is the runner at first. He singled after Wright's home run, so Messick's now the batter. My mistake, and the count's no balls and 2 strikes. And Messick's foul tips it into the catcher's glove, and that ends the top of the 3rd, but St. George adds a run on the long home run by Tyler Wright. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. Moncks Corner trails by 2. You're watching Dixie Boys State Tournament Baseball live on the county channel. We'll be right back. Well, there's a shot for you. Weather continues to move in here at Oscar Frazier Park. It's 2-0 St. George. That is hit. Fair ball to third, barehanded. The throw to first is a foul ball. Never mind. That was almost a spectacular play down there by St. George's third baseman, Jake Herndon. He made a scoop throw to first, but as it is, it's a foul ball and just a strike. Ben Cohen leads off for Moncks corner. And how did that miss him? Somehow it misses Cohen, and the count goes to 1-1. 1-1 pitch on the way. Is down low. 2 balls and a strike, the count. Ivy Sweatman still on the mound for St. George. He's done a good job so far. Both pitchers have pitched well. Hit right back to Sweatman. He fields it on a hop, and he throws high to first. But Harrison Wimberly keeps his foot on the bag, and that's 1 out in the bottom of the third. 2-0 St. George the score. And there is 1 out with the bases empty in the bottom of the third. We go back to the top of the order now, and J.P. Proctor. And he pops it up. It's going to get into short left field and hung on to out there by Jake Herndon, the third baseman. Nice play. You had the left fielder, the shortstop, and Jake Herndon all converging on that, and Herndon able to come away with it for the second out. And this game is zipping right along. Dylan Lambert now the batter. Bases empty, 2 outs in the bottom of the third. 2-0 lead for St. George. And there's a big swing and a miss for strike 1. Pitch is fouled off. And the count now, no balls and 2 strikes. This is Lambert? No balls and 2 strikes to Dylan Lambert. Sweatman with the sign. Pitch on the way. As the lights are now on here at Oscar Frazier Park. Two balls, 2 strikes, and 2 outs. And that is popped up, might hit the roof of the press box, and it does. Thunk. And the count stays 2-2. Two-two pitch on the way. There is a swing and a miss, strike 3. Dylan Lambert goes down swinging. Or is it a foul? I guess it's a foul. My mistake, it's a foul ball. The count stays 2-2. You can hear the wind in the camera microphone as it starts to pick up here at Oscar Frazier Park. 2-2 pitch on the way. That's lifted out towards center field and off the center fielder's glove. It's going to fall in, and that'll probably be an E8 as that hit him right in the glove. So that'll be an E8, and that puts a runner on at first with 2 outs.
Now batting number 9.
And brings up Miller McGuire. So runner at first, 2 outs. Miller McGuire stands in for Moncks corner. Ivy Sweatman looks in, gets his sign from Trevor Hilton. And it's hit foul up past the drone for strike one. Drone's got a big target on it today. Robert Dixie must have painted something on it for the batters to aim at, because that's 3 or 4 times that a foul ball has gotten a little too close for comfort to the Beaufort County Channel drone. And there's a swing and a miss, a big swing and a miss by Miller McGuire. They count 0-2. I'm guessing that drone costs a little more than the sunglasses I bought at the dollar store last week. 0-2 pitch on the way, runner going, pitches outside, throw down to second. Fairly close, but it's going to be a stolen base for Moncks corner. And Dylan Lambert now stands at second. It's a 1-2 strike count to Miller McGuire. St. George leads this game 2-0. And we are in the bottom of the third. The 1-2 pitch on the way is hit in the hole, knocked down by the third baseman, but they won't have a play, and Moncks corner has something going. Runners now first and third with 2 outs. Tying runs now on base. And Mason Salisbury will come to the plate. Actually, yeah, it is Mason. For a second, I thought it was a different uniform number walking up, but it's Mason Salisbury. Runners first and third with 2 outs. St. George leads by 2, but Moncks corner has the tying runners aboard. And Sweatman slows down his pace with runners at first and third. Now he's ready. He looks in and gets a sign from Trevor Hilton. Salisbury digs in. Runner breaks for second. Nobody's covering. The throw gets into left field, and that's going to plate a run for Moncks corner. The throw over to third, though, is in time. But the run scores, I think, before the third out was recorded. I believe the run that scored will stand for Moncks corner. The coach is going to argue the out call at third. I think the run scores for Moncks corner. He crossed home plate before the out at third was recorded. So I think the score is going to be St. George 2, Moncks corner 1. But let's see what develops with this discussion out with the umpire. The run counts, right?
It crossed, right?
It crossed before the out was recorded. And I think the call will stand, and the score will be 2-1 St. George. The run does count for Moncks corner. And St. George comes to bat now in the top of the fourth, up by 1. We'll be right back on the County Channel. St. George bats in the top of the fourth. What inning are we in? We're in the top of the fourth inning. And that is a leadoff single for Hunter Hartzog. Hartzog wasting no time reaching base. Or was that? Who the hell hit that? Number 2? Hayden Hartzog. Check it. There are 2 Hartzogs, Hunter and Hayden. That was Hayden Hartzog with a leadoff single. And now Harrison Wimberly bats for St. George. They lead 2-1. And we are playing in the top of the 4th in this winner's bracket game in the Dixie Boys division of this tournament. There are 2 tournaments being played simultaneously, the Dixie Junior Boys and the Dixie Boys. And this is a winner's bracket game. And St. George leads it 2-1. They're trying to get some insurance. Hayden Hartzog leads off a first, and the pitch is high and outside. And the count goes to 3 balls and no strikes to Harrison Wimberly. The lights are on at Oscar Frazier Park. The wind at times picks up. The clouds are starting to gather. And what's going on here? For a minute I thought they were clearing the field, but just some conferences going on at the pitcher's mound for Moncks Corner and on third base for St. George. Both of these tournaments, the Dixie Junior Boys and the Dixie Boys, will play till a champion is decided in both divisions. That happens on Thursday. And of course, just as we have back to the Ozone Division state tournament last week, we'll be with you for the finish of this tournament. Lots of baseball has come your way the last 2 weeks and several more days of it to go. And there have been some really good baseball games being played. Wimberly digs back in. Munter leads off first, and the pitch is in there for a strike. Snap throw to first. Runner gets back safely. Three, 1 pitch is in there for a strike. 3-2. Runner goes, 3-2 pitch. Is a ball. I don't know why Wimberly took so long to go down to first. So it's ball 4 and 2 men aboard here for St. George in the top of the 4th. That confused me a little bit because the runner broke for second and Wimberly just stood there at home plate, but it's ball 4. So he goes down to first. Hayden Hartzog runs down at second. There's still nobody out, and Manning Thompson stands in. More conferences and maybe a pitching change for Moncks Corner. It will be the case as Gavin Driggers' day will come to a close. And who's going to come in and pitch? Let's see.
All right, so let me see here. I just went when it has 19 to start. Then you get 35. And then you should have
Miller McGuire will be the new pitcher for Moncks Corner, and he'll get a couple of warm-up tosses.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
And you'll have runners at first and second with nobody out in the top of the 4th. St. George leading this winner's bracket game 2-1. And over on field 2, the game between Beaufort County and St. George is tied at 1. And the legendary Carlo Peruzza with the play-by-play call over on field 2. And there's a shot of what may be in store for us. That's what's moving in to Oscar Frazier Park and why this game got switched to field 3 and started about 40 minutes before it was scheduled. Some mean-looking clouds starting to gather.
Hey, Coach, I have Driggers at 45.
but to all of you who have tuned in to tournament play, both in the Ozone tournament and in this tournament for the junior boys and the Dixie boys, we can't thank you enough. Thank you for tuning in and watching these young men play. There have been several announcers that have worked to bring you this action. And I can tell you that for me, and I thought about this today as I was driving in, it's not just the skill level that these young men have, it's also their heart. They are all clearly students of the game, and they wear their hearts on their sleeve, and they play hard, whether the score is 2-1 or 10-0. They are giving it everything they have. And that has been a lot of fun to see. Swung on and missed for strike one to Manning Thompson. Runners at first and second, nobody out. Top of the fourth, St. George up by 1. Snap throw to second by Miller McGuire, but the runner back safely. Miller McGuire now on the mound for Moncks Corner. He comes on in relief of Gavin Driggers. McGuire comes set, looks the runner back to second, brings it to the plate, and it's lined to the shortstop on a hop, and it eats him up and gets into the outfield. Rounding third and scoring is Hayden Hartzog, and St. George extends their lead to 3-1, and 2 more men in scoring position as on the throw. Manning Thompson made it all the way around to second base.
Now batting number 8, Connor Carlton.
Connor Carlton will now be the batter. It's a 3-1 game. St. George gets that run right back that Moncks Corner scored in the bottom of the third. And there is still nobody out. Runners now second and third. Carlton squared around a bunt and took a strike. No balls and 1 strike. Harrison Wimberly, the runner down at third. Manning Thompson is the runner at second, and it's a no ball and 2 strike count to Connor Carrollton. There's a swing and a miss, and that's a strikeout. So Miller McGuire strikes out Connor Carlton. Runners remain at second and third. That's the first out. Back to the top of the order we go, and Hunter Hartzog, the batter. McGuire looks in, gets his sign from the catcher. The runners lead off second and third. And the pitch is in there for strike 1 to Hunter Hartzog. And that's hit to second, over to first in time. Run scores to make it 4-1. In from third is Harrison Wimberly with the 4th run for St. George. They now lead by 3. And moving over to third's Manning Thompson. So it's 2 outs now, right? 2 outs in the top of the 4th. 2 runs have scored for St. George. They have a runner at third. And Trevor Hilton now the batter. And that's hit back to McGuire. Gets under his glove, fielded by the shortstop who bobbles it. He'll have no play and another run in. Manning Thompson comes in from third to score. It's now 5-1 St. George. And that's an error on the pitcher. So an E1 allows the 5th run to score. Trevor Hilton now the batter. Excuse me, Trevor Hilton is being run for. Who is that? Caleb Byron takes over to run at first. And Tyler Wright stands in the batter's box. Last time he was up, Wright got a hold of one and hit just a bomb to left center field that might still be traveling. And that, at the time, made the score 2-0 St. George. So he's a dangerous hitter, and he bats now with a runner at first and 2 outs. 3 runs in for St. George. They now lead by 4. Miller McGuire gets his sign. 1-0 pitch on the way. Big swing and a foul. And the count now 1-1. Runner at first, 2 down, 5-1 game. 1 ball, 1 strike count to Tyler Wright. McGuire gets his sign, and that's hit out toward second, fielded on a hop, and on to first is going to be in time, and that will retire Tyler Wright and St. George in the top of the 4th. But a good inning. They score 3 runs, and the St. George All-Stars lead the Moncks Corner All-Stars 5-1 as we go to the bottom of the 4th here at Oscar Frazier Park. You're watching Dixie Boys Tournament Baseball right here on the County Channel. We'll be right back. Mason Salzberg leads off for Moncks Corner in the bottom of the 4th. They now trail by 4 runs. It's 5-1 St. George. And there's a great shot of the couple of different fields we have. The County Channel logo as that's hit out into right field. Going to be a base hit. And it's a leadoff single for Mason Salzberg, and a good start for Moncks Corner, who's trying to get back in this ball game.
Now batting number 6, A.J. Leggett.
That'll bring up A.J. Leggett. Pitch on the way to the plate's outside for ball 1. Salisbury leads off first. Nobody out. In the bottom of the 4th, 5-1 St. George with the lead. The pitch on the way to Leggett is taken. For a strike, and the count's now 1-1. 1-1 pitch on the way is lifted out toward left field and deep back toward the wall. That ball's going to get down in fair territory. And Moncks Corner is going to have runners at second and third. Salisbury had to wait to see if that ball was going to get caught, so he only gets as far as third, but 2 runners in scoring position now for Moncks Corner with nobody out. That'll be a double for Leggett, and that'll bring up Hagan Gregory. So 2 runners in scoring position. And the pitch is in the dirt. Ball 1 to Hagan Gregory. Over on the other field, it's still tied 1-1 between Beaufort County, the host team, and St. George in the Dixie Junior Boys Division. There's a big swing and a miss by Hagan Gregory, and the count's even now 1-1. Pitch on the way. That's line back through the middle, and a diving catch by the second baseman. And as the runner at second doubled off, I couldn't tell. What a great play by Hunter Hartzog at second base, who dove and probably prevented 2 runs from scoring. So it's 1 out. Runners remain at second and third. And that's a bunt up the first baseline. The flip to home is not going to be in time. The ball gets away. A run's in for Moncks Corner. It's 5-2 the score, and they're going to have runners on first and third.
That was Hunter Hartzog, right?
No, that was Ryan. Oh, scoring?
That was just up. Where are we?
Ryan Pierce. This is number 2 now. In for Rivers. This is Jackson Blackburn.
No wonder I'm looking at the wrong.
That was Ryan Pierce with that great bunt. That produces a run for Moncks Corner. It's now 5-2 St. George. So Pierce, the runner at first. And some substitutions here for Moncks Corner. Let's see what's up. Jackson Blackburn is going to be the batter for Moncks Corner.
Yeah. Yeah, I have 2 up. Yes, sir.
So runners at first and third for Moncks Corner, a run in. They've narrowed the gap to 3. And now Jackson Blackburn stands in. A.J. Leggett, the runner down at third. Ryan Pierce, the runner over at first. And Blackburn bunts it back to the mound. Pitcher looks the runner back to third, throws on to first in time. That was a good play by Ivy Sweatman. He had the presence to keep the runners where they were at second and third, and he threw a strike on to first, and that's the second out, and that's a big second out for St. George. And now a meeting on the mound for St. George.
Did you understand that?
I didn't even hear what you said.
Blackburn came in as a sub. He took the place of Driggers and wiped out the DH, so he became a batter in the 8th slot.
I got you.
He just told me that he was subbing for me.
Sorry, guys, what were you saying? I was talking to.
Yes.
Now batting number 1, Ben Cohen.
Ben Cohen now the batter for Moncks Corner. It's a 5-2 game. Runners second and third with 2 outs. And it's ball 1 to Ben Cohen. Runners get their leads off second and third. It's a 2-ball and no strike count to Ben Cohen. Pitch on the way is outside, and the count's now 3-0. 3-0 pitch on the way. On the outside corner for a called strike. The count's now 3-1. We're in the bottom of the fourth. St. George leads Moncks Corner 5-2 in this winner's bracket game. And the pitch is pop foul and gonna sneak right on top of the screen. And the count goes to a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Ben Cohen. And now time called by Cohen. Now he's back in. Runners again get their leads off second and third. 3-2 pitch on the way from Sweatman. Here it is. And it's outside for ball 4, and Moncks Corner has the bases loaded. Tying runs are on base with 2 outs. And J.P. Proctor will be the batter for Moncks Corner.
Now batting number 5, J.P. Proctor.
Bases are full of Moncks Corner All-Stars, and there's 2 outs in the bottom of the fourth. St. George with a 3-run lead. Pitch on the way, and that's lifted high and deep into right field, back toward the wall. That's going to be dropped. 2 runs are going to score.
Did all 3 runs score? All 3 runs scored? Was that 3 runs scored?
Yeah, because his base is loaded.
3-run double. And suddenly we are tied. It's 5-5. That is a 3-run double. By J.P. Proctor to very, very deep right field. That was almost a grand slam home run. But as it is, it's a 3-run double, and we're all tied. It's a new ball game, 5-5. Biggest hit of the game so far for either team. That was a 2-out, bases clearing, 3-run double by J.P. Proctor to the wall in right field. And I have to tell you the truth, it's getting hard to see because of the cloud cover and the glare. I didn't track that quite right, and I apologize for that. But it's a 3-run bases clearing double. The score is tied 5-5. And now we don't know if St. George, Moncks Corner, or the weather is going to win this ball game first. Maybe a pitching change for St. George here as Moncks Corners come back to tie the game 5-5. I said it in the first game. These young men do not quit, and they play with a lot of heart, and they play hard regardless of the score. And we've seen it again here. Moncks Corners come off the deck. They've tied the game. And they forced.
Now Sweatman's still in there.
I see 3 going in for.
No pitching change, I don't think.
3 going in for 8 and right. So
No, Sweatman's still on there.
right. Yeah, Sweatman's still out there, but they pulled Carlton from right and put in Breyer in right field. Now batting number 2, I see. No, Sweatman's not on the mound anymore.
Oh, we do have a new pitcher.
Is that 20?
So there is a new pitcher on the mound for St. George. It's number 20, Jake Herndon. Herndon comes on in relief of Ivy Sweatman. And we find ourselves in a tie game. It's 5-5 in the bottom of the fourth. The big blow in this inning, a bases clearing 3-run double by J.P. Proctor that just missed being a grand slam. And he will be the runner at second with 2 outs when play resumes.
I gotcha.
Sure.
pitching for St. George, number 20, Jake Herndon. Entering the field for St. George in right field, number 3, Caleb Byron. And number 5, Manny Thompson.
Dylan Lambert will be the batter for Moncks Corner in a brand new ball game. 5-5 the score. J.P. Proctor, who's the runner down at second, made the score 5-5 with a 2-out bases clearing double. And that's the big blow so far for Moncks Corner. And the pitch is fouled off. No balls and 1 strike to Dylan Lambert. Jake Herndon now on the mound for St. George. And Moncks Corner with the go-ahead run down at second and 2 outs. Herndon gives the runner a check, brings it to the plate, and it misses for ball 1. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Herndon again ready. 1-1 pitch on the way. Hit foul. Up past third, the count goes to 1-2. More baseball coming your way tomorrow right here live on the County Channel. Games at 4 o'clock and 7 o'clock. Or earlier, depending on the weather. Runner breaks from second. The pitch is fouled away. He'll have to go back to second, and the count stays at 1-2. We are all tied 5-5 in the bottom of the 4th inning. Moncks Corner with DJ Proctor, I'll get it right in a minute. J.P. Proctor, the runner down at second, and 2 outs. And the count's now 2-2 on Dylan Lambert. Herndon again gets his sign, the 2-2 pitch is on the way, and it hits Dylan Lambert, and they're going to send the runner back to second. That's a dead ball when it hits the batter, so runner's going to be first and second for Moncks Corner. The inning continues, and Miller McGuire now the batter. Been a long bottom of the 4th for both teams. And Moncks Corner, who came into this inning trailing 5-1, have tied it now 5-5. Runners get their leads off first and second. The pitch to the plate is fouled off. 1 strike the count to Miller McGuire, who would like to make like Mark McGuire and put one in the trees in left field to give Moncks Corner the 8-5 lead. That is hit out toward right field. That's going to get down for a base hit. Runner rounds third. He is going to score, and Moncks Corner has taken the lead 6-5 on an RBI single by Miller McGuire. Great game continues, and now the lead has changed hands. And the inning not over yet. Runners are on first and third, still 2 outs. Moncks Corner now leads St. George 6-5. And Mason Salisbury will be the batter. And rumbles of thunder start to be heard around Oscar Frazier Park. Runner breaks from first, and they got him picked off. He tried to sneak in there. Now the runner breaks for the plate, and he's going to make it as it's a wide throw. It's now 7-5 Moncks Corner. St. George will tell you they didn't execute that well. And it results in the 7th run for Moncks Corner and another base runner in scoring position. So it's now 7-5 Moncks Corner. And Herndon with the 0-1 pitch on the way. And now they got a pickoff play on at third. The ball gets down the line in left field. Another run is going to score. And it's 8-5 Moncks Corner. Or are they going to bring him back? What's the call here? Nope. Run counts. Run counts. It's 8-5 Moncks Corner. Umpires now discuss it. We think the score is 8-5, but let's hold on for a second before we confirm that. It might have been a balk call before the throw got away. If it's a balk call, the runner would be put back on third. But he could have, that's true. Well, I don't know. The debate in the press box is, could he advance on the pass ball if he's balked to third? I don't think so. I think if it's a balk, it's a dead ball once the balk call is made. But what's the ruling going to be here?
Now they're putting him back on.
They're going to put the runner back on. So take the 8th run off the scoreboard. It's 7-5 Moncks Corner. They're going to return the runner to third base. I'm assuming, because I haven't heard officially, that it was a balk call, which would render that wild throw dead and put the runner back on third base. We don't have the benefit of being able to communicate with the umpires. We do sometimes in between innings, but we don't right now. So this is all speculation, but I think that's what the situation was. There was a balk call on Jake Herndon, and that makes the wild throw down the left field line a dead ball. And so the runner for Moncks Corner is going to be placed back on third. So back goes Miller McGuire to third base. It's still a no ball and 1 strike count. And the pitch gets away, and Miller McGuire thought about trying to score again, but he put the brakes on. As the count's now 1 ball and 1 strike to Mason Salisbury. So lots of stuff going on here, but I think we got it sorted out. And it's still just a 2-run lead for Moncks Corner, 7-5. The pitch to the plate, that's hit back through the middle into center field, and now it really is 8-5 Moncks Corner on the RBI single by Mason Salisbury. So the momentum has shifted dugouts. The lead has shifted teams. It's 8-5 Moncks Corner. They have a runner on first, still just 2 outs. A.J. Leggett, the batter, and he lines a base hit to right field. And Moncks Corner is going to have runners at first and third as Mason Salisbury never stopped running, and he takes third. Now we got another pitching change, I think, for St. George.
Yeah, Mason Salisbury is at third. AJ Leggett's at first.
We are still in the bottom of the 4th, folks. And it gets darker and darker and darker here at Oscar Frazier Park. It's now 8-5 Moncks Corner. And they're going to have runners on first and third. And we have a new pitcher. It's Hayden Hartzog. So Hartzog takes over for Herndon on the mound for St. George. And they're trying to stop the bleeding right here. It's 8-5 Moncks Corner. And you can almost feel the weather moving in. The wind's picked up. It's gotten considerably darker.
Most of these runs have been 2 outs.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't that deep?
Runners are on first and third for Moncks corner. Hayden Gregory will be the batter. And Moncks corner has claimed the lead. They lead 8-5. Over on the other field, St. George has jumped ahead of Beaufort County 5-1. So the host team, Beaufort County, down by 4 on field 2. Back here at field 3, Moncks corner leads 8-5, and they have runners on first and third. They get their leads. Hayden Gregory stands in. Runner goes from first. The pitch is hit out toward left. It's going to get over the left fielder's head. He misjudged it, get all the way to the fence. 2 more runs are going to score for Moncks corner. It's a 2-run double. And the score is now 10-5. 2-run double for Hagen Gregory.
Now batting number 4, Ryan Pierce.
And Ryan Pierce will now be the batter for Moncks corner. They now lead by 5. It's 10-5. And this very long bottom of the 4th continues. And the pitch is high, ball 1 to Ryan Pierce. St. George led this game at one point 5-1. And now they trail 10-5. The Truck's asking how many runs Moncks corner scored with 2 outs. Honesty compels me to tell you I don't know, but a lot. Most of this damage has actually come with 2 outs. There's so much activity that I'm not keeping score of these games. I should be, then I could tell you, but a lot of 2-out damage for Moncks corner. And another runner out there in scoring position in a 2-2 count. 6 runs, I'm told, have scored with 2 outs. Thank you, Scott. And there's strike 3 to Ryan Pierce. And so the bottom of the 4th finally comes to a close. But as we go to the top of the 5th, the lead has changed dugouts. Moncks corner now leads St. George 10-5 as we begin play in the top of the 5th. We'll be right back on the County Channel. St. George comes to bat here in the top of the 5th inning, down by 5.
Leading off, number 20, Jake Herndon.
Jake Herndon will lead off for St. George in the top of the 5th. And he takes inside for ball 1. Another great game here on the County Channel.
You guys are going to hate it. I want to turn on the lights a little bit. What? These overheads. Go ahead. I will. After this inning.
2 balls and no strikes, the count to Jake Herndon. 2-1 pitch on the way. Swing and a big swing and a foul back to the screen. 2-2 the count.
Now batting number 42, Jace.
Miller McGuire is still on the mound for Moncks Corner. And he now pitches with a 5-run lead.
Next up to bat, number 17.
And that's on the inside corner for strike 3. Good start for Miller McGuire. That's 1 down in the top of the 5th as Jake Herndon goes down on strikes. So base is empty, 1 out. That brings up Landon Messick.
Now batting number 10, Landon Messick.
McGuire into the wind. The pitch on the way to Messick. Big swing, no contact. Strike 1. A 1 pitch on the way as McGuire works quickly in there for strike 2. Fouled out of play. No balls, 2 strikes the count. My friend Carlo Perusa is calling the Beaufort County St. George game on field 2. And just in case you need me to translate what he's saying, the score is 5-1 St. George. And there is nobody out. Oh, excuse me, there's 1 out in the top of the 4th over on field 2. Hey, Rob, there's 1 out, eh? On field 2? The 0-2 pitch misses inside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. The count to Landon Messick.
I can't be mad at the country that gave us Anne Marie. She might be 75 years old, but I love her voice. And also Raymond Burr, one of my favorite actors, Perry Mason, Ironside. Yes, yes. Yep, John Candy. Absolutely.
Pitch on the way is a big swing and a miss for strike 3. 2 quick outs here in the top of the 5th as Landon Messick goes down swinging. And that brings up Hayden Hartzog.
Now batting number 2, Hayden Hartzog.
Pitch on the way is hit just foul down the right field side. That was close. And it's strike 1. A 1 pitch on the way is a check swing in the dirt. The count's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. And now 1 ball and 2 strikes to Hayden Hartzog. And that's tapped toward third, fielded on a big hop by the third baseman. A rifle shot throw to first is in time. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Miller McGuire and Moncks Corner in the top of inning 5. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Moncks Corner up 10-5 in this winner's bracket game in the Dixie Boys
27
State Tournament live on the Beaufort County Channel. We'll be right back. We head to the bottom of the 5th inning. It helps to have the right microphone in your hand. Bottom of the 5th inning, 10-5 Moncks corner. Pitch is hit back to the pitcher, who runs it halfway to first, then throws on to first in time. That was Joseph Blackburn, who grounds out for the first out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Now batting, number 1, Ben Cohen.
Now Ben Cohen, the batter for Moncks corner. Base is empty. 1 out, 10-5 lead for Moncks corner. The pitch on the way. That's hit out into right center field and going to get down for a base hit. Ben Cohen with a single to right center field with 1 out. So here at Field 3, Moncks corner leads 10-5. Over on Field 2 with Dixie Junior boys, St. George leads Beaufort County 5-1. And on Field 3, Hartsville leads North Augusta and the Dixie Junior boys 14-2. And now you're caught up with all 3 games going on at Oscar Frazier Park. Over here at Field 3, 10-5 Moncks corner. Runner on first, 1 out. And a 1-ball, no strike count. The pitch to the plate is hit into center field and fairly deep. Now the wind's taking it back over toward left center field, and a good running catch out there for out number 2. That was hit high in the air, and that's an example of the effect the wind's having on balls high in the air, as that went from straightaway center into left center field. But a good catch, and that's the second out. Runner remains at first with 2 outs. Dylan Lambert now the batter for Moncks corner. These are 7-inning games, and we are in the bottom of the 5th. Runner goes from first. Pitch is hit into left field. It's going to be a base hit. Moncks corner has 2 more men on here with 2 out. It's a single for Dylan Lambert. And they're looking for some insurance here in the bottom of the 5th. This is where so much of their damage, 6 runs worth of their damage in the bottom of the 4th occurred when 2 were out. And now we got, ooh, good grief. There's a shot of what we've thought was coming our way all night. So far it stayed away. Needs to stay away about another, well, yeah, 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Runners get their leads off first and second. A 1-0 pitch on the way, gets away, goes all the way to the screen. Runners are going to move up to second and third. And it's a 2-ball, no strike count on Miller McGuire. So Moncks corner trying to bring the 2-out Thunder again. They lead 10-5, and they have 2 more men in scoring position. And a 2-ball and no strike count to Miller McGuire. And now Miller McGuire steps out because St. George's pitcher stepped off the mound. Hayden Herzog keeps throwing over to third. Miller McGuire digs in, and he awaits the 2-0 pitch. And he fouls it away, and the count's 2-1.
Hard to see.
Runners again get their leads. The pitch to the plate is hit up the middle into center field, a base hit. That's going to score 2 more for Moncks corner. And they are going to lead this game 12-5. Down to second on the throw is Miller McGuire. And Moncks Corner has opened up a 7-run lead. 12-5 the score. And I remind you that once again, St. George led this game 5-1. And Moncks Corner has since scored 11 unanswered runs for a 12-5 lead. And Mason Salisbury will try to make it 13-5 as he bats with Miller McGuire, the runner, down at second. More two-out lightning, and that's hit into left field. Left fielder broke in. Now he's got to break back, and it's up against the fence. It's going to be a double for Mason Salisbury. Another run in for Moncks Corner. It's 13-5. The twilight was the devil on that for the left fielder. He broke in thinking that was going to be not hit as far as it was. It carried over his head, went all the way to the wall, and that allowed the 13th run of the game to cross for Moncks Corner. They now lead by 8. And Salisbury will be the runner at second. A.J. Leggett will now be the batter. And he swings and, or doesn't swing, he takes on the outside corner for strike one, 0-1. Inside, counts now 1 ball, 1 strike. Oh, no.
The word is that these games are played until they finish. There is no official game. So if it's delayed, it's true. That would be what we got.
Line back to the pitcher on the fly, and that'll end the bottom of the 5th inning. So we go to the top of the 6th inning. The score is 13-5. Moncks Corner has the lead.
Your attention, please. Lightning is in the area. We have been asked to clear the field and the stadium. Please.
And now we have noticed, folks, that there's lightning in the area. So what we thought was going to be happening appears to be happening. We are in a weather delay. The score is 13-5 Moncks Corner, and we'll come back with updates just as soon as we have them, folks. 13-5 Moncks Corner, the score as we...
For Hayden Hartzell, number is 20 pitches.
So we'll take a break for some weather, and we'll come back and let you know what's going on here. It's 13-5 Moncks Corner. We're in a lightning delay. You are watching the Dixie Boys State Tournament live on the County Channel.
Field number 3 resuming play from last night had a lightning delay that turned into a full-fledged storm. It downpoured on us about 8:30, 8:45 last night, and we're having to resume play here at Oscar Frazier Park. The teams for this game are the visiting team St. George and Moncks Corner, all-stars for the Dixie Boys. We're in the top of the 6th. Moncks Corner is leading 13-5. So it was a great ball game before the delay. And it looks like we're about ready to resume play. St. George took an early lead. I believe they were up 5-1 last night. And Moncks Corner came back and rallied and scored, I think, 12 runs in the bottom of the 6th. So it looks like we're ready to play, and leading off the inning for St. George will be number 12, Harrison Wimberly. Pitching now for Moncks Corner is number 4, Ryan Pierce. Probably because it's not turned on. Tap it. Now you can. All right, sorry, our announcer.
St. George, number 12, Harrison Wimberly.
We have our director, Shannon Loper, announcing on this game, and she is obviously a novice at announcing and reading, for that matter. All right, so quickly 1-2 count on Harrison here, the leadoff batter at the top of the 6th. Pierce from the windup, and here's the pitch. Swung on and fouled off to the left side. So Wimberly will stay alive. The wind is out, and it's about a crisp 75 degrees outside, but a frigid 60 degrees here in the press box. Here's a pitch, and it's chopped to the left side, foul again for Wimberley. So still 1-2 count here. No outs, top of the 6th inning. And there's a ground ball. Nice play by McGuire at first. And Pierce will step on first base for out number 1.
You had 2 foul balls. You need to keep up with the pitch count. He had 6 pitches.
Gee, thank you. All right, now up to bat for St. George is number 5, Manning Thompson.
Now up to bat, number 5, Manning Thompson.
So that was in there, I believe, for a ball. So ball 1 and ball, nope, that'll be in there for a strike. So 1-1 count now, Manning. We're all trying to wake up here. Some people that have been in the press box all week having a little trouble catching up. Here's the pitch from Pierce. And that is laced down the right field line, but just foul. Hard hit ball there by Manning. But it'll be just a long strike. So 1-2 count here. 1 out, top of the 6th inning. I didn't realize Michael Strahan announced his baseball games. I was just informed that by. Here's the next pitch from Pierce. Swung on, hard hit ground ball, but right at the second baseman. He'll throw over to first base for out number 2. That'll be Ben Cohen playing second base for the Moncks Corner All-Stars. Quickly, 2 outs here in the top of the 6th. Moncks Corner leads 13-5 are the St. George All-Stars. Next up to bat for St. George will be number 3, Connor Carrollton.
Next up to bat, Connor Carrollton.
So 2 outs here in the top of the 6th inning. Ryan Pierce, pitcher for Moncks Corner, looking in, and he's from the windup, and I'm not sure what just happened. Oh, looks like the batter called timeout, is going to speak to his third base umpire. He must have a new hitter, and he didn't call the substitute. That's no surprise. It's happened a lot this week. So it looks like there is a substitute.
Next up to bat, number
Batting
3,
for
Caleb Byron.
I don't know if they have 2 number 3s or what, but anyway, either way, number 3, Caleb Byron, is now the hitter for what, St. George. I don't know if they have 2. Yeah, I'm not sure if St. George has 2 number 3s or what, but anyway, here's Caleb high and inside for ball 1. So Pierce, 2 quick outs here in the top of 6. Swung on and missed. Live fastball there by Ryan Pierce, who also plays first base for Moncks Corner. Pierce looking in for his sign, and he's got it. Here's the pitch. Outside corner, strike 2. So 1-2 count now on the hitter for St. George, Caleb Byron. Pierce looking on and working quickly. Here's the payoff pitch. A little low and outside for ball 2. That'll even the count at 2-2. I want to thank our grounds crew guys for what they've done. A lot of hard work this morning to get these fields ready. Here's the next pitch, and whoa, that one almost hits Caleb. So that'll run the count full. Field's looking a lot better shape than they did last night. But we did need the rain desperately. The dirt actually looks like infield dirt, not sand, because of all the lack of rain. Here's a pitch from Pierce, fouled off to the backstop. It's been so hot out here that no way to keep the dirt fresh. Pierce looking on, and here's the pitch. Swung on, that's laced to left center field. That's going to get in the gap for extra bases. Caleb around first base and head to second, and he will get a 2-out stand-up double here in the top of the 6th. Hard hit ball by Byron there. So St. George looking to try to cut in this deficit they've created for themselves here. And now it would about be number 4, Hunter Hartzog, the second baseman for St. George. He's the leadoff hitter as well. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed for strike 1. 0-1 count right here. So Pierce looking on, ready for his next pitch. Swung on and hit to the left side. Nice stop there by the third base coach for St. George. That was a hard hit ground ball, but he wasn't afraid to get in front of it. So 2 strikes now, 0-2 count here, 2 outs. Top of the 6th inning. St. George does have a runner on second. Caleb Byron with a stand-up double just a minute ago. So Pierce is looking in for the sign. He's from the stretch. And here's the 0-2 pitch. Right down the gut for strike 3, and that'll end the top half of the 6th inning. Moncks Corner will come up to bat in the bottom half, looking to possibly end this game. If they score 2 runs, we'll move on to the night. So we'll move on to the bottom of the 6th. Your score is Moncks Corner 13, St. George 5. You're on the County Channel. All right, back here, Oscar Frazier Park, field number 3 in beautiful Bluffton, South Carolina. A little overcast right now, but hopefully the sun will peek its head out here in a little while. Pitching now for St. George in the bottom of the 6th will be number 3, Caleb Byron. And leading off the inning will be number 10, Hayden Gregory from Moncks Corner.
Now batting number 10, Hagen Gregory.
Oh, big swing and a miss. Nice curveball there by Byron. So 1-1 count here. No outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Moncks Corner leads 13-5. Next pitch is low and inside for ball 2. 2-1 count now. All right. Here's the next pitch from Byron. Low and outside. That'll run the count 3-1 to the leadoff batter here in the bottom of the 6th, Hagen Gregory. Looks like Byron's ready. Here's the next pitch. Big swing and a miss. I'm not sure why he swung at that one. That was not even close to being a strike. So that'll run the count full here. No outs. Bottom of the 6th inning. Caleb working quick. Another off-speed pitch, but right across the plate for strike 3. So 1 out now here in the bottom of the 6th inning. And coming to bat will be number 4, Ryan Pierce, the current pitcher for Moncks Corner. Yeah, they're right. We just have to wait in the half. If you can wait a couple minutes. Yeah. Yeah. Slow curveball outside for ball 1 to Pierce. Looks like Byron's ready again, and here's another slow curveball, but it'll hang up high for ball 2. Looks like Caleb has an array of off-speed pitches so far in this half inning. Next pitch is low and outside for ball 3. So Pierce will be way ahead in this count, 3-0. Looking to get a runner on here for the Moncks Corner All-Stars. Here's the next pitch in there. Oh, no, must have hung a little high for ball 4. So Pierce will trot on down the first base with a 1-out walk. Next to the plate for Moncks Corner will be number 2, Jackson Blackburn. Byron looking back at the first base runner, and the pitch is outside for ball 1.
Jackson Blackburn.
Not. Here's a pitch from Byron. High and inside, ball 2. So that'll be 6 straight balls here for the pitcher, Caleb Byron. Runner on first base, Ryan Pierce from Moncks Corner. Here's the pitch to Blackburn, low and inside, in the dirt, ball 3. So Byron has lost his composure right here. Seems like he's finding a hard time finding the zone. Here's the next pitch from Byron. That'll be inside for ball 4. So runners will now be on first and second for Moncks Corner, only 1 out. And it looks like St. George's coach is going to call timeout to talk to his players. I think there will be a pitching change. It looks like the left fielder, we'll let you know who he is in just a minute, is trotting in. Oh my.
What? I didn't do it.
I didn't say you did anything. God. Jeez. Something's wrong with you. Yeah, right. So pitching now will be number 10, Landon Messick for the St. George All-Stars. He'll be pitching, trying to get out of this jam. 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th.
Total pitches for Caleb Byron at 14. Going in now to pitch is number 10, Landon Messick. I got this.
Looks like we're ready to resume play. Number 1, Ben Cohen stepping to the plate. So runners on first to second, 1 out. Messick's looking in for his sign. Here's the pitch inside for ball 1. Messick looks like he has a live fastball. That pitch got on the hitter in a hurry. Messick's looking in for his sign, and here's the pitch. A little low for ball 2, so I think that'll be 10 straight balls thrown by St. George pitchers. Here's the next pitch for Messick. Bunt showed but pulled back, and that'll be in there for a strike. So Cohen looking down, seeing if he's going to get a sign or anything from his coach, Steve Pauly, for Moncks Corner. So Ben steps back into the box. Messick's working quick from the stretch. Here's the pitch. Swung on and chopped to the second baseman. That's a tailor-made double play here, I think. No, yes, they will turn it. Great double play by the second baseman shortstop for St. George. We'll move on to the top of the 7th inning. St. George will need 8 runs to stay on in this game. So you're here at Field 3, Oscar Fraser Park in Biloxi, South Carolina, and on the County Channel with us. We'll see you in just a minute. Blood. Here for the top of the 7th inning, if my scorekeeper will change the scoreboard for us. First pitch here from Ryan Pierce is grounded to the right side. Proctor will nab it, throw on to first base for a quick 1 out here in the top of the 7th inning. That batter was number 9, Trevor Hilton, catcher for St. George. Next up to bat will be number 1, Tyler Wright, center fielder for St. George. Tyler hit a mammoth home run yesterday out to left center field. Let's see if Tyler can do some more damage here for his team. Swung on, big cut, and fouled back to the backstop. Yeah, Tyler's home run got out in a hurry yesterday. So 0-1 count, 1 out here in the top of the 7th. Score is Moncks Corner 13, St. George 5. Like I said previously, St. George needs 8 runs to stay on in this game. Slider outside for ball 1. So 1-1 count, 1 out here. A lot of chatter going on in the press box. We need the chatter to reduce to a minimum, please. Here's the next pitch from Pierce. That is smoked to right field by Wright. A laser hit down the line. And that's a single, 1-out single here for St. George. And next to bat will be number 20, Jake Herndon. So on first base is the hitter, Tyler Wright. Out to bat, Jake Herndon, and Ryan Pierce from the stretch looking in, getting a signal from the catcher. Here's next pitch. Wright will take off from first, and the catcher's going to let him run on down to second base without a throw. And then Wright gets him a healthy lead out there at second. And here's a pitch from Pierce that swung on, and Wright will be slide in, actually safe. I think that was a good slide by Wright. Looks like he went towards the back of the bag to make sure it'd be a tough tag play by J.P. Proctor. So I believe now there's 1-1 count here, 1 out, top of the 7th inning. Runner on third base for St. George. And here's a pitch from Pierce. Swung on, popped up to the right side. That'll be shallow enough for the first baseman, Miller McGuire, to make the catch. Right from third. Acts like he's going to go, but will stay put. So 2 outs now here in the top of the 7th, and St. George is down to their last out. Coming to bat will be the current pitcher for St. George, number 10, Landon Messick. Looks like Pierce is looking on for a sign, and here's the pitch. High and outside, ball 1. On field 2, we have a 5-4 ball game now as Beaufort is coming back. They were down 5-1 going into today. Swung on and missed. Even the count at 1-1 here to the hitter, Landon Messick. Pierce from the stretch. Here's his 1-1 pitch. Low and in the dirt. Nice play by the catcher. I believe that's Mason Salisbury. He's called all week for Moncks corner. So 2-1 count now to Messick's. Pierce with the 2-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. That'll even the count at 2-2. And St. George is down to its last strike here in the top of the 7th inning. Pierce looking on from the stretch, and here's the pitch. Swung on and laced to right field. Will that get over the head? And yes, it will get over the head of the right fielder. Wright will come to third, home to score. Messick's will run into second with a stand-up RBI double. And St. George cuts this lead to 13-6. That was a hard hit ball, and the right fielder for Moncks corner tried to take off and get it, but he could not get there in time. So here's the next pitch from Pierce, working quickly in the dirt for ball 1. That'll get past the catcher a little bit, and Messick's will take off and take third. Next up the bat for St. George is number 2, Hayden Herzog. So 1-0 count now, 2 outs here in the top of the 7th inning. Your score is now 13-6. Pierce looking on from the stretch, and here's the pitch. Swung on and hit into the shallow center field, and that'll get down there for an RBI singing for Caleb Hartzog. So St. George trying to rally here. 2 runs with 2 outs here in the top of the 7th. They'll look to keep it going. Now your scores 13-7. Moncks corner still leading the St. George All-Stars. So step into the batter's box would be number 12, Harrison Wimberly. Pierce, Ryan Pierce, the pitcher of Moncks corner's ready. Here's his pitch in there for strike 1. So 0-1 count here to Wimberly. Pierce from the stretch, he gets the sign. Here it goes. Swung on as the first base runner was taken off to second. That will get out of play. So quickly ahead, Pierce is on the batter, Wimberly, 0-2. And St. George once again is down to their last strike. Let's see if they can keep this 2-out rally going. This is not an elimination game. Both these teams are undefeated so far in the tournament. So even if St. George does lose, they will stay on and play tonight still. Here's a pitch from Pierce. Runner will take off, chopped to the right side by Wimberly, and that will be foul. So staying alive here down to his last strike.
Did y'all see where that girl got tossed by that bison?
0-2 count, 2 outs here. So 0-2 count, Ryan Pierce trying to close the door on the St. George rally. Here he goes from the stretch, swung on, hit to the right, left side. Proctor, third baseman, fielded, throw to first for out number 3. And that's your ball game, folks. Moncks corner will move on in the winner's bracket. They will play tonight at 7 o'clock here at Oscar Frazier Park. St. George, they'll come back here at 4 o'clock and play. But your final score is Moncks corner 13, St. George 7. Great ball game, and we'll see you later. Excuse me, tongue tie. We'll see you back here later this afternoon for some more action. You're on the County Channel. Take care.